Good morning, warriors. Today is April 13th, 2022. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope things are moving along in your plan. It's a beautiful day today, and I wanted to kind of make a video. I may try to do another video. You guys are sending me some great questions, and I'm going to try to track back on some of these as well. I'm going to cover one of the ones that Shubham sent me, and once again, a shout out to him. I think it's wonderful the work he's doing and looking at this whole concept from a multiple perspective, multiple dimension type of thing, and I think he's doing a great job. So shout out to you, Shubham. I appreciate your insights and look forward to more of them as we go through. Like Shubham, I dealt with this issue for a long time, trying to figure out why is it that retention is beneficial, is beneficial for people, and why is it that you have more activity and are more active when you're retaining? And so we're going to go into that question in a second. Before that, please go ahead and subscribe, comment, like, and donate if you feel you so choose. And it's greatly appreciated, and I appreciate all the help that I can get trying to get this message out. So I appreciate all of that. So Shubham had he put a lot of great ideas together, and I'm going to try to kind of summarize, and if I'm incorrect, please let me know. But he talks about it from a kind of biological science approach, which makes a lot of sense here. If you're talking about why people are more active on retention, let me do one analogy first, and then we'll get into the cell analogy and talk about this. So some of you may or may not know a lot about cars and automobiles, but for many, many years, we had, and we still do that unless you go into electric, type of thing. The key to an engine really is the oil. And so it's almost like the bloodline, the blood that you have in your body. And so if you're low on oil, your car is just not going to go. It's going to have trouble. You have a lot of dysfunction within that car. So just like oil for an engine, if you're not retaining and you're losing all those nutrients, you're not going to feel as active. You're not going to want to move like a car, and you're not going to want to go ahead and take care of yourself. And so the oil causes a lot of other problems. It kind of loosens everything up, makes it work well, and all those things happen because of the oil. This is why you get an oil change every so often. This is why you're actually going ahead and kind of trying to lubricate your car. So in a sense, when we're talking about here, we talk about our nutrients. You need to keep those nutrients. Now, why are you more active? Well, let's look at this, okay? Just like with the car. If your cells, right, and I'll look at the cell argument that Shubham makes here. And he does a great job, by the way. If you are low on your energy, your cells are not going to reach your optimal ability. And this, from a scientific standpoint, is a very crucial type of point, because you need to have all your nutrients for all your energy in your cells to work well and be able to protect things. Let me give it a good example of this. If you're sick, all right, your body is going to react by going to that point and trying to kind of solve the problem within your body. That's unlike a car. You're just going to go ahead and solve this problem. You're going to go ahead and try to bring all your cells, all your energy to that area and trying to work on it. If you got a cold, if you have a sickness of some sort. Now, if you're eating a lot of food, in the meantime, now your body is kind of divided out. It now has to decide, okay, am I going ahead and going to go ahead and digest this food, or I'm going to try to help it? So that's why a lot of people don't say only drink liquids when you're sick, so that you're able to have those cells, those antibodies, all those things go to the area that's sick to try to repair it. Our bodies are a tremendous repair organism, right? We tend to go to areas repairing. That's why they always say sometimes when you break your arm or break a bone in your body, it can basically heal and become stronger. That doesn't happen with many organisms. So the fact that your body can do that means you have tremendous nutrients and proteins and vitamins, things in your body already without getting all these new supplements and things like that. So when we go back to this question here, if you're not functioning at your optimal level, you're going to feel tired. And this is what happens when you're drained of your energy. That just makes common sense more than anything else. All right. Now, what happens if you're on retention? All of a sudden, now you have that oil in your system and you're running like a Ferrari as a car, right? Now your cells are at optimum types of abilities. So now you're able to then have this multiple energy level that you can actually do. Now, will you have an excess of energy? Sure, but remember, we've been talking about the fact that you just, when you're on retention, you just don't sit there and watch TV all day. What happens is you go and do things. Let's go back to the car example again. If I drive in the city and I have a lot of stop and go traveling, I have to go ahead and I have a lot of sludge in my car. It's not good for the car just to go into a lot of stop and go traffic. What you need to do is get that car on the highway, and you'll notice that once the car's on the highway and you start going 55, 60 miles an hour, now that sludge is coming off, and now the car engine actually runs better. So the whole thing is as you work with your energy, you need to use it. Just like people who go to the YMCA and they're 75, 80 years old. When you get older, you need to use your muscles more, just as much as you did when you were younger, because you'll have atrophy if you don't. And so the same thing happens with the cells. If you have a lot of energy, the worst thing to do is sit around and do nothing. Now you're going to get frustrated. Have some goals in mind. Do something with all this energy you have, but do it in a constructive way. Do things that are going to really help, and do things that are going to help things in the world around you. By doing that, you're almost like driving this car on a highway, right? And it becomes really important because the oil will thin out. The same thing happens with us, our energy. Our energy thins out. And so Shubham, I think, is right. If you don't do something with it, the energy, you end up then going ahead and having excess. And now you can actually get frustrated. I see people who get frustrated because they're just sitting around doing nothing. The other thing that happens is once you're in this retention and you're learning this self-discipline, now you're applying it to other things in life, which means that you're setting goals, you're doing things, and all of a sudden now you want to use more energy. You're more motivated. And so from that aspect of it, you tend to go ahead then and use that energy in a more wise way. And this happens because now you're not thinking about, women, you're not thinking about, looking at pictures, all that kind of nonsense that you were dealing with for so long. It's like a new day, a new idea, something that is brand new that you're not really even thinking about. Now you're thinking about how else can I deal with this world I'm in. And this is important to realize because at that point in time, now you're using energy in a very positive way, which you weren't doing before because you were so drained most of the time, you really didn't have a chance to really kind of use that energy, or you were so drained that you didn't really get a chance to kind of do anything because you're kind of sitting there and you're kind of just getting tired and more tired as time goes on. So I think that it goes back to this point like we talked about with the oil in the car. If you're sitting there and you want something to run smoothly, like if you look at your body like a Ferrari, a Jaguar, some kind of car that's a high testing car, high performance car. Your body wants to be a high performance type of thing. When you are high performance, you need to understand that heavy foods, in this case heavy oil, too much oil, all these things can hurt your engine in the car, and foods and carbs and all these things can hurt you. This is why people get tired when they eat too much, because their body is they're thinking, well, I got to now go all to these areas and try to digest this food as fast as possible, or else I'm going to have problems in my system. You can't just let your food sit there. Now, some of us, like myself, who are challenged with our stomach areas as we get older, that food sits there, so I have to actually do more and be more conscious of it to kind of lower that fat belly. And that just tends to be something that my family has always kind of dealt with. So the thing is that you got to have that engine running smooth, and you got to have your body running smooth. So Shubham, I think, once again, excellent work, excellent analysis from a scientific approach with this. I'll be interested in more that you're talking about. I know I've had a lot of great comments. I'm going to try to get to Lafie's comment, my Lafie. I think my Lafie, I hope I'm saying that right. And also comments about dopamine, and also a man in action. A lot of great comments we've had, but I wanted to kind of get to this one because I know it's been a few days since Shubham sent it to me. But the key point in this is to recognize the fact that retention, the reason why it's beneficial is it basically allows you to become a strong person and being your regular self. That means you're keeping all that energy, all those cells at optimal levels. And now, if you use it for a purpose and you start thinning out that energy by doing something, I don't care if you're walking, I don't care if you're going to run to the store, I don't care if you're weightlifting. Now that acts like that driving the car on the highway, right? You're now kind of pushing it, and now you become really strong, and you thin out that oil in the car by going on the highway. And when you're working out or when you're doing things, now you're thinning out all that energy you have, and you're transmuting it. We call that transmuting it to other types of things. In fact, even though you're losing some energy with all these activities, now you're being a lot more constructive, and you're not just wasting your energy. And this is the whole thing, my friends. When you sit there and you're on FAP and all this other kind of stuff, you're sitting there wasting energy galore. You're not accomplishing anything, and actually it's making you feel and hurt bad, because almost like having no oil in the car. Right? No oil in the car. So just like oil to an engine, right? Your energy runs your body, right? This energy level runs your body, and it's very important to kind of realize that, because I think that a lot of times if you're not really thinking about it, you're not realizing how important this is we're talking about. And that's why I say when we see this type thing and we talk about this, look at it from all different perspectives, because the way to make the analogy is to look and say, okay, this is like, I need to be a Ferrari. I need to be a strong car. And I need to have my oil at the right position. Not having oil too low and too high. I need to be looking at it. And then God talks about this being a temple. You know, your body is a temple. Well, once again, the temple is almost like the Ferrari. And I think as Shubham talks about with optimal levels, I totally agree with what he's saying here. You have your cells at optimal level, that's going to make you high performance. And that's what you want to be, high performance. Low performance doesn't get you anywhere. You know, you end up having lots of problems because you're low performance. And so that's important. All right, guys, April 13th, 2022. I'm going to run some errands here. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a great day. And Shubham, shout out to you. And I'll get to you guys' other comments in the next few days. God bless you guys, and battle out.